first thing I do actually is to remove a section of turf, roughly about the size of this one. Actually, you can go a bit smaller, I reckon. This is to actually stop the weeds, the grass, getting all the nutrients and the water from the tree. So it's placed over at the end, and I'll show you when we get to it. But because the grass is so good at taking the nutrients, we actually remove a level of grass altogether, and we don't bury it again with the tree.
Stuck inside your mind when you're planting, your feet shuffling around like you're dancing.
There's different ways. You can either bury it to the bottom of the hole, or you can put it back on top upside down and cover it over. You know, if everybody who lives around here wants it, we'll plant more here next year, so it becomes a big orchard.
And they grow quite quickly. I've seen plants outside my house, you know, on the side.
Careful, the tree will have been grafted here, which means it's been, we can explain that a bit more later, but it's been joined on to what's called the rootstock, and then this is the tree that we actually want to grow. It's important not to bury that. But this one's quite far from the roots anyway. It's also important, I'm going to try and do this quite quickly, not to leave the roots out in the open for too long, particularly as it's a lovely dry sunny day. Although we like it, the tree likes to have its roots in the soil.
But if not, shut your mouth and put a tree in the ground.
Okay, we'll have to do something else with this turf, but you're right, normally I put the turf right at the bottom, upside down, so it doesn't grow down.
It's always best to do the tree planting two people together.
Come up behind and won't you follow me? I'm getting this block done really quickly, that's my plan. 'Cause on the days
Does anybody want to choose a main leader? Yeah. Yeah? If it's not getting enough light, it will grow towards the sun. Yeah. So if you get trees that are crowded by each other, then you usually see that one of them is definitely going to go in one direction.
I think I just might get ready for the task at hand tomorrow.
The Germans are very good at defining kind of a couple of rules for pruning trees. One of the things that they say, anything that's crossing and rubbing, because rubbing spots will give you entrance points for disease as well.
Yeah.
Things that are diseased, branches that are crowded, so that there's just too much going on in one place, so they're not getting enough light, and growing inwards, branches that are growing inwards. They're the kind of, if you're lost, specifically with an older tree, if you're lost, just kind of go right, crossing, rubbing, inward growing, disease, and they're the things that you can take out. And by the time you've done that, you've probably already taken out most of what you need to do.
Incidentally, I was out looking for more, 'cause our monotonous lives, there resonate a vibe. Oh, it's great for a while, but don't get stuck inside your mind when you're planting. Your feet shuffling around like you're dancing. You're carrying so many pounds you be panting. That's what happens to your body when you're tree planting. Well, if you can find the time to think clearly about where you really are and where to put your next tree.
That tree planting project is one part of Totnes trying to become more sufficient in local food. And we started 3 winters ago. This is the 3rd winter we've been planting mainly nut trees, but some fruit trees as well, apples and pears. And last 2 years we've planted 100 or so. This year we're hoping to do another 80. Today's the 2nd tree planting day of the winter, and we've got at least 1, maybe 2 more lined up before the winter's out.
And look around now. Just put a tree in the ground.